Hey guys, F1Master26 here, and welcome back to Highlights of the F1 League. And we are here today for Season 5, Round number 9 highlights at the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. And as mentioned in my Canada highlights, which were up a couple of days ago, the reason there is no Baku highlights from Round 8 is because I was on holiday when that race was on, and as a result was unable to attend. So therefore, the championship lead that we did gain after our fantastic result in Calendar has now been lost, and Azar Reactions is now leading the championship. So we'll be aiming to get that back here in Austria, when my pace was surprisingly good, and I was hoping for at least a podium and maybe even a win if we could produce that pace. But we'll have to wait and see. As you can see, in qualifying, super soft tyres, because I don't think the ultra soft tyres is the way to go. They don't last long enough, and as you can see, I'm using these super soft tyres to try and get a decent lap in, but due to how short the track is, everyone's going to be really close together, so it's not going to be easy for me if people go on ultra soft tyres, and I can find myself quite far down the grid. So this is a bit of a risk, but it's a risk I'm prepared to take considering how short the life of the ultra soft tyres is around this track. The lap's been alright, not the best lap I've ever done, but I'll take it, to be honest, and we're going to come up to the line now for a 1 minute 08.1 there, and that will be what we will settle on. And as you will see in a moment, we've made a bit of a mistake. So yeah, as you can see there, we've qualified in 8th, and yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, to be honest. Camundo put in an even better lap than me on the super soft, and yeah, I wasn't particularly bothered at this point, but as you can see, the Silent Moral and Azar Reactions, my championship rivals, did decide to go onto the ultra soft tyres at the end of the session, which therefore means they are a long way ahead of me. But I reckon I can still use these super soft tyres to my advantage, and if I can keep it clean, I should be up fighting at the front at the end of the first stint. So let's head into the race now and see what we can do. So as you can see, we're now in the race, and the strategy is on screen there, with super soft, soft, super soft. And I think if you are starting on the ultra soft, you have to do 2 soft stints. So this is where we can hopefully pull our advantage from, and that would be very nice to see if we can produce that advantage. So hopefully we can get onto the formation lap now, and we can, well, do whatever we have to do. Formation lap, not particularly interesting, as you fully well know. Jordan Gibbs decides, or James F1, etc., rather decides that he's just going to go to the front of the pack. There's been a bit of carnage there, and a couple of people have been deleted due to some contact that has occurred. But yeah, in general, the formation lap has become just chaotic in league racing now. So whatever, it's quite fun actually, to be honest, to see what banter occurs. But yeah, coming down towards, wow, Sam has just lagged back into us there, and when I was editing this, I didn't actually remember that happened, and I fully crap myself when that happened. So that was rather interesting. So hopefully that's not a sign of things to come in the race, with Sam just lagging back there. But yeah, Sam then decides that he fancies going exploring in the middle sector, which is fair enough. And he appears to have gone off to find the national track or something or other. But yeah, we will now come on to the grid now, with Camundo leading us up towards the grid. There'll be quite a few cars on the grid already, I believe. And actually no, it's not too bad. And we shall soon pull up into our P8 grid slot, which is not ideal, but as mentioned earlier, hopefully we can make the most of it come at the start of the race, as we now pull up into our grid slot with Cosmic behind us, the new driver for this week, and hopefully we should be ready to roll any moment now. And as you can see, the lights are now coming on. We have 4 lights, now we have 5, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got an alright start, Mundo ahead with a slightly better start, and we've got Cosmic looking around the outside, but it should be alright as we head into turn 1. We're going to go up the inside of Camundo. Someone goes across the corner there, I think that was Jack Sparr. We've still got Mundo on our outside as we now head down to turn 2. We're going to try and steal the slipstream off Jack Sparr. My teammate Sam's had a bad start and has lost out a couple of positions there as we now head into turn 2. We've got ahead of Mundo as we now head towards the apex there, but we've been smashed from behind twice by Jordan Gibbs there, and we now have damage on the front wing, and I'm absolutely raging at this point. This is something that I knew was a risk from qualifying on the super soft tyres, but it's gone horribly wrong here, and now I have damage, and any advantage I would have had from starting on these tyres has gone down the drain as the Xbox One's gone wide at turn 3 there, and there's not sure what's happened there. I think some lag has occurred and Jack Sparr's wheel has fallen off, so That's extremely unfortunate for him there, and he is out of the race. I don't really know, I have no words for this game anymore, but yeah, this front wing damage is going to really affect us, as you need the front wing. This track is pretty much 100% high speed corners. As you can see, we've already got James F1 etc. from the back of the grid up behind us as we head down towards the penultimate corner, just understeering off the track. Final corner, we've taken too much curb, and that's pushed us wide as well. We're going to lose a huge amount of time, and James just flies by there as he moves up into P6, I believe, and we're back down into P7 as we head through turn number 1 once again. And yeah, this is not looking good for us, to be honest, as we can see Jack Sparr's left the session there, and now the Silent Mole has left the session, and that is the host gone. And I'm not sure what's going on, but everyone appears to be leaving. We passed James extremely easily on the exit of that corner, and as you can see, he is also disconnected. So we've been absolutely saved here by the fact that the game has decided to disconnect everyone for whatever reason and put everyone in separate lobbies. So we had to do a restart for obvious reasons, and we are now back here for one-shot qualifying now, and we've once again decided to go on the super soft tyre despite it going completely wrong last time. We've decided that in one-shot qualifying there's more chance of people bottling it, and we can get in a good lap here. So coming towards turn number 2 now, we're going to get the car stopped nicely, get the car turned in, get the traction down nicely on the exit, and it's looking pretty good for us so far. And I'm hoping to maybe get top 5 this time, and if we can, that'd be very good. We've been much near the front and much less at risk from carnage occurring as we come through turn 3 now, taking that nicely as well, getting nicely on the power now as we head through the flat out turn 4 towards turn 5. Difficult corner this, but we've actually taken it quite nicely and not run out too wide on the exit as we come into turn 6 using the widest entry possible. Turn 7 isn't really a corner, to be honest, as we've taken that easily as well. 2 corners to go now, very easy to cut and extend, so we need to make sure we don't do this to get invalidated like we did in season 3, but we've done that quite nicely, and that should be good for us as we're going to come across the line now. And what position is going to be? Silent Mole takes pole, but where are we on the grid? And we are in fact 3rd with an unbelievable lap there, only less than a 10th off our original lap. And Azar Reactions cut the penultimate corner, I believe, and has been disqualified from the qualifying session, so he will start from the back. Unfortunately, we don't get the qualifying points. Qualifying points are awarded from the first session, but it's still very good for us. So Luke on pole, Sam in 2nd, myself in 3rd, James in 4th, Cosmic in 5th, Jack Sparr 6th, and Camundo down in 7th. So I performed under pressure when it was needed, and as a result I've been rewarded with a good qualifying position. The weather was set to fully dry, I believe. Actually, no, it wasn't. We wanted it to be set to fully dry due to what was going to happen in the last race, but Casey refused. But it didn't matter because we're getting some lovely weather for the entirety of this race nonetheless, as we now come towards the lights. No formation lap this time. We have 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. Take 2 here at Spielberg, and we've got an alright start. James F1's going to be upper inside, so we're going to have to leave him the space into turn 1, give him lots of room on the apex there, hold it round the outside, and we have done that nicely. And there's been a yellow flag, I believe, not particularly sure what's gone on there, but we have remained in P3. That was a good start. Warden has sadly disconnected before the start, which is going to cost him quite a lot as we now head through turn 2. I expect Sam and Luke will be faster maybe on the first 1, maybe 2 laps, but after that I should be able to get into the lead and use these super soft tyres to my advantage as we head down towards turn number 3. And we've taken that all right. As you can see, Sam and Luke starting to pull away, but I wasn't particularly worried, to be honest, as we now headed down towards turn 2. On lap 2, Sam's used the slip through, he's gone up the inside of Luke, and there's been a bit of squeezing going on there, very aggressive from Sam there, but I'm not going to complain. Sam's now going to pull me along down the second DRS straight, obviously no DRS yet, and we've now got into a Haas 1-2, so good teamwork from me and Sam there, and we're now into P1 and 2, and as you can see, there's been a massive crash in the background. James F1 just being a bit too ambitious on the brakes, combined with Luke being very cautious, and that's caused a bit of carnage to occur going into turn 3 there. So that means the top 3 now have a massive gap at the front. And what's gone on there? There's been some major lag, and somehow we've not been seriously affected by that. Luke's gone into a half spin and has lost a lot of time as we now head towards the end, not towards the end, towards the hairpin on the start of lap number 5. We haven't been able to get past Sam up to this point, but now his tyres are starting to fall off, and we're going to use this opportunity to go up the inside into turn 3 and that'll be job done. Up into P1 here, and can we stay there for the rest of the race? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure the soft stint is going to be more important, which is coming up next. But meanwhile, Sam's still alongside as we head into the difficult turn 5, but we've managed to hold that quite easily on the inside, and we remain, well, mid up into P1, and hopefully we can pull a gap now, because we don't want to be battling with Sam, even though he's our teammate, because Luke has gone for the undercut and pit at the end of lap 5. End of lap 6 now, we're coming around the final 2 corners, and I believe Sam is going to dive into the pit. So the ultra soft wear was actually much better than anticipated. I was expecting people to have to come in lap 4, but that's not been the case, and the super soft advantage may not be as big as I expected, as we now head into turn 2 on the lap 8. And as you can see, Luke showing his pace on the soft tyres now. He's set fastest lap, so I'll be very surprised if we come out ahead of him, but you never know. Skipping to the end of lap 8 now, and we're going to head into the pit. Just taking the pit lane nice and legitimately there. Casey Legend started on the soft tyres from the back, and Camundo, I think he's trying a one stop, so it'll be very impressive if he can pull that off, as we now pull into the pit lane there, getting the car stopped nice and easily, and we should be able to have a nice stop. But the question is, where are we going to come out? Are we going to be ahead of Luke? Between Luke and Sam, because as you can see, Luke is, well, you can't see, but I can confirm Luke is ahead of Sam at this point, I believe. Actually, no, he's not. What am I chatting? Sam is ahead of Luke, and where is he? Oh, we've absolutely bottled the pit exit. That's good driving. Very lucky not to get damaged there. As a result, we are now behind Sam, and that is not ideal, but I'm sure we'll have the pace on the fresher tyres. Luke's undercut didn't gain him back all the time he lost after his lag spin. So, skipping on to lap number 10 now, and Sam is still ahead of us, but we appear to be pretty close. Maybe we can get a move done under the DRS if we get a good exit. Our exit's been alright, but not good enough, and Sam should be able to hold on this time. Luke not close enough either. So us three looking like we are the dominant force in this race, as Luke actually outbroken himself a bit there. But Sam's run wide on the grass on exit turn 3. This is going to give us an opportunity. We should have put it up to Rich. I can't actually see if we have, because somebody's covering it on the screen. But we're going to go up the inside now. Sam's going to hold it around the outside, and there wasn't, unfortunately, anything we could do there. Just the outside line giving you a better run through the corner. So Sam holds on to the lead for the moment, but he is coming under increasing amount of pressure now as we head on to lap 11, once again coming towards turn 2. Meanwhile, we're starting to catch up to Camundo, who's attempting his one stop as we run very wide on turn 2 onto the curb there, and that means we can't have a go at Sam this lap. Meanwhile, Luke is going to have a go at us, I think, as we head down towards turn 3. Once again, is Luke going to go up the inside? No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it and backs out this time. So, everyone holds station, but Sam started to get away. But luckily, Camundo held him up, so we have caught up by the time we start lap 12. Sam's going to go up the inside of Camundo. I'm just going to sit back, see what we can do. Sam pushes Camundo out wide, and we're able to go past as well. So that was good driving for myself there, sitting back and seeing what opportunities arose. But unfortunately, Luke's also going to go past, despite the fact that I'm trying to give Camundo the slipstream there. So not ideal as we now head into turn 2, and Sam's actually run deep, and that's going to give me a chance to get the lead back here. Sam just a bit too late on the brakes there. Obviously he doesn't run racing lines, so that might have been why, but Sam now won't have DRS, and he's going to come under pressure from Luke as we head down towards turn 3. What's going to go down here then? Can Luke go up the inside? Yes, he can. They're going to go side by side. I think Luke actually has the better exit there, so unfortunate for Sam there. He's lost 2 positions in as many corners, and he's now dropped from 1st to 3rd, well, net, because Casey's leading, but he still has to stop. So that's very interesting now, and we now have Luke still behind us. I was hoping my teammate Sam could be a bit of a buffer, but that's not going to work, and we'll have to fend off the Red Bull ourselves as we now skip on to the next lap. Coming down towards turn 3, and Luke's dived up the inside. He's warned me in the party, but he still hit me wide there and onto the curb, and he's actually going to take the position there. And at this point, I was not particularly happy. I thought that was a very dodgy move, because I could have turned into the corner, he would have hit me, it would have been his fault, and he would have spun out. So I was very nice to him by turning out of the corner, and he's just pushed me wide there. So I was asking Luke for him to give that place back, and he will oblige in a minute on the pit straight there. But yeah, whatever. Sometimes these things happen. I was pretty happy he gave the place back, because actually I wasn't realising he was going to give me the place back there, but he did. So that's very kind of Luke, realising his mistake there, and we're now back up into P1. But obviously, due to the slipstream at this track, Luke will probably repass me in about 2 corners time, so it doesn't mean much, but for the moment we are back into P1, and we will lead for another couple of corners. As you can see, Casey up ahead on his soft tyres. He'll be coming into the pits very soon, I am sure, as we now get on the accelerator down towards turn number 3. Is Luke going to be close enough this lap? He's gaining in the slipstream. He's going to go up the inside. We're going to have to leave him the spaces alongside. He's gone up the inside. We're going to try and hook it around the outside. And at this point, I'm not going up into Rich. And that's because I actually don't have enough fuel, because I absolutely bottled the fuel load. But we're going to back out of that. Let Luke take the lead as we now head through the middle sector once again. And what's gone on there? Luke's lagged back into us. And we're into the wall there. So lucky not to have damage. But that is our race ruined there. As Camundo goes past as well. We've lost a huge amount of time there, and that is pretty much GG in terms of this race, because Luke and Sam are in slipstream, and there's no way I'm going to be able to catch that back up as we come towards the end of the lap. Now I think Camundo's actually dived into the pits finally for his one and only stop in this race, but yeah, that's very unfortunate for us. This lobby in general was extremely laggy, and that is the result of it. We have lost out a huge amount. We are nearly 7 seconds behind Sam, and that is pretty much it. We're going to get a replay of that any moment now, and hopefully we can see that on the slow motion, but that is not ideal in the slightest. As you can see, slow motion replay now. We run a bit wide on the corner, but then Luke's car just stops. We smashed into the back of him. I don't know how we didn't get any damage, but yeah, very similar to what happened in quite similar to what happened in Australia, but this time we were much luckier. Also not getting damage, or we did get very minor damage, which I think did cost me a little bit when we hit the wall, but not overall very much. Great English there, but yeah, that's pretty much GG. Coming into the pits now for our next stop, and we're going to put on a set of super soft tyres, but literally nothing happened. Not that I can show you if anything did happen, because my camera decided to run out of charge, because that's the last footage I have. But yeah, nothing happened for the rest of the race. Luke won, Sam came second, I came third. I got a penalty. I was only actually 5 seconds behind Sam, but because of my penalty I was 8 seconds behind. But yeah, Casey finished 4th and Camundo 5th on a great one stop. Still pressurising Casey right to the end. After Azar's lap 1 incident, he came 6th with James F1 etc. in 7th. The rest of the results are on the screen if you want to pause the video to have a look at them. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. I'll see you very soon for the next race, which is the British Grand Prix, my home track. And hopefully we can get back the championship lead there, as we have now dropped a 3rd due to Luke's win. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.